Good evening. It is Wednesday night, which means it's Cash Converters Supercars E-Series. But Garth, for the final time, it's round 6, championship night. Good evening to you, buddy.
Good evening. It's easy to get up for this one, Chad. Final of the championship at Oran Park, one of the great layouts that we had here in Australia back in the day.
Had with an underline, sadly. It's all gone these days. Never got to go there myself, which is a similar scenario to pretty much the majority of the field running tonight. Hopefully a few of them got to at least go and spectate on the hill when they were kids. Awesome place to race. Wrapping up the championship just like we used to do there, IRL. And we're going to start it off with SwiftX qualifying. Great to have SwiftX on board for your qualifying live stream tonight. A famous Aussie venue, scanned by iRacing and living on in the virtual world, which is such a cool thing to be able to do. And for all tracks that unfortunately become other things in this world, like housing developments and the rest.
It's a housing estate now, sadly, is Oran Park. It's a massive suburb in southwestern Sydney now, but it was a fantastic race circuit. One of the unique parts of the racetrack was that right there where we used to go up and over the bridge, and it was like a figure-8 racetrack. It was uphill, downhill, camber corners. It was a real challenge to get right, and in a supercar, you were so busy. I remember Dick Johnson once saying on race cam that Winton used to be like running a marathon around your clothesline, and Oran Park was much the same. It was just, you just never got a rest. You were so busy out the back of the circuit. The front straight wasn't all that long, and every inch of the circuit was a challenge.
So qualifying to set the grid tonight. It is a championship night. Those two Brad Jones Racing teammates are in the fight, both with a chance at winning the money tonight. Garth, it's real money, big money, $10,000 up for grabs. Brad Jones Racing has been in this series for a few years now, have never won the championship, but the same goes for Erebus, at least with the pro ranks. They have won the All-Star Championship before with Brody Kostecki. Now, famously difficult venue to pass at. I get the feeling the next 8 minutes are important.
Seriously important, because it's so difficult to pass at Oran Park. Just the nature of the circuit, where this snaking bit of tarmac where it drops down the hill through the S's here, and as the supercars being as big as they are, I mean, this circuit was built in the early 60s, so it wasn't designed for big, heavy supercars, and the layout is not easy to pass. So yeah, right, Chad, it's very important to qualify up the front, as it always is in the Supercars E-Series, but I feel like tonight even more so important, given the championship, how tight it is between Jake Burton and Madison Down, that whoever comes out on top in qualifying out of those two will certainly have the upper hand later this evening when we go racing.
Now, got to be very careful where you drive on this circuit as well. Just laying the left side virtual Dunlops on the grass can be enough to have your lap time taken away, as can slicing that wall on the exit as well. Easy to lose a lap around here. Madison Down, the advantage sits with him, a 103.6, and he'd be quite happy to have Dane Warren next to him as well at the moment, not in that championship scenario tonight.
That's right. So Jake Burton, our other championship contender after the first run, finds himself down in 6th. He's only a lazy 10th of a second off the pace, if you don't mind, Chad, but that has him 6 spots off the pace to Madison Down, who's currently fastest. One
man who's always fired up for a championship scenario. He'll have the spreadsheet burning away tonight. Jonathan Simon, good evening, buddy.
Good evening. I sure will, Chad. You know me too well, I'll tell you that much. So a few things to note ahead of this round. These are going to be quick runs in qualifying. It's only a 1-minute lap time. Madison Down, how about that? A 1-minute 3.6 for provisional pole. The last pole sitter at Oran Park in the Pro Series was Jared Filsell. That was back in 2019, the first ever session we had here in the Pro E-Series. Now, a couple of other things to note. There's never been a repeat pole sitter in our E-Series this year. Will Madison Down break that duck? And that's very important because it's so difficult to pass around here. This is the most important qualifying session of the season.
This could be almost, dare I say, the most important qualifying session we've ever had in the E-Series, given what's at stake. We have seen some pretty large championship swings late in the races before, but tonight feels like there's more riding on this qualifying session than there's ever been before, let alone the $200 worth of Bitcoin that's up for grabs.
That's right. There's the $200 worth of Bitcoin, but the $10,000 cash that's on the line at the end of tonight's race for the Pro Series. So significant sheep stations to be playing for, Chad. So need to make sure you qualify well, execute properly in this qualifying session. Just over 5 minutes to go in this one, and it's going to be tight. We see that there's less than 1/10 of a second covering the top 8 competitors at the moment. So that'll tighten up as each driver does more and more runs. Dane Warren now goes to the top with a 1:03.59. We saw that Dane Warren was very fast in practice offline just before we came live on air tonight. He was in the 1:03.5s in practice, so starting to lay down the times that we expect. Jake Burton now up to 3rd, so that's important for other championship contender that currently find themselves 2nd and 3rd. The Brad Jones Racing teammates and championship combatants. Madison Down holding a small advantage given that he's currently on the front row, but still 4 and a bit minutes to go in this one. It's going to change at the top, no doubt.
Andrew Gilliam splits the championship combatants, as does Cooper Webster. Gives Madison Down a little bit of breathing room. Jordan Caruso, not out of the championship either. 113 points off the pace. You would need a minor Oran Park miracle tonight, but Dane Warren won the championship 2 years ago in an almost similar scenario when Josh Rogers picked up a drive-through in the very last race of the year. Now, that was just one other competitor to have something bad go and happen. I don't know if Jordan Caruso is going to get 3 times that kind of luck tonight.
So for Caruso to win, he needs Madison Down, Jared Filsell both to DNF, and Jake Burton to finish 18th or lower. So he effectively needs 3 DNFs for him to swing his way. But, Chad, it is mathematically possible.
That's right. You never know, with internet being the way it is.
Well, we saw that last week, didn't we?
I saw Cooper Murray at the event at Sandown, and he was still feeling. I saw Emily Jones at Sandown as well, enjoying the action. Now, Melbourneite herself was just so disappointed in what had happened to Jake Burton. Felt horrible. He was going up Mountain Straight and it just cut out on the in-lap to hand it over to Jake. And that could have just giant championship ramifications tonight. It's an expensive internet outage, that one.
Could be. Could very well be. So everyone lining up here. As Jonathan mentioned earlier, lots of runs in this session, just a 63-second lap. So punch out a lap, escape out, go out and prep the tyre and get ready, come to the line here. So we see everyone taking a nice, big, wide approach at the final corner to get momentum for the run down the front straight. There's always such a tricky braking zone, this first one. You jump the curb here at the kink at 1, and then you'd always lock it inside front, braking heavy into 2 where the car would be unweighted. It's all sort of slanted downhill there. You come out of turn 2, run into the bridge, heavy braking zone into 3, back to 2nd gear. Just more than 90 degrees this corner. This is the old go-kart section part of the track. You see on the left there, that's where the karts used to go, and then again on the inside there on the left before they went up and over the bridge. And this was a fantastic feeling. You just pluck 4th gear, keep the momentum up, and the car would be floating. It'd want to get away from him in the rear. Then it would drop down here. You had to hook the curb there on the right, run the curb on the left, and then down into Sutton's out wide. Use the curb to rotate the car, then on the gas hard for the run up over the dog leg and just murder the curbs here, Chad.
It's so unique, Oran Park.
Send it to the final corner, back to 3rd gear. And as you mentioned, don't rub the wall on the exit. Many a rear vision mirror met their maker at the end of that lap in the past.
And then slam on the brakes.
And we never used to do that bit.
The rest of it was so exactly as it was. That was cool, just reliving Oran Park there for a moment. The ups and downs, the roller coaster ride that this place is, from right there on the bridge all the way to the control line. So a bit more jumbling of the order. Jordan Caruso on that lap up to 3rd, Gilliam 4th, Webster 5th. Now it's a serious advantage to Madison Down. Jake Burton 6th, Jared Filsell 7th. Everything is looking good right now for the championship leader. But there's probably one good lap left in them.
Yeah, one more run, just over 1:15 to go left in this one. So everyone on track prepping for their final run.
This needs to be the best lap Jake Burton's ever done on iRacing right now.
It does. It's a pressure lap. So Madison Downs put himself in the right spot. That's him there just prepping. Jordan Caruso in the Monster Mustang also. So Madison Down doing the right thing and getting well out of the way here.
Well, that's definitely what he doesn't need right now, is to get pinged
for impeding someone.
Throwing cones around, but no worries.
So still got plenty of time to get back to the line, 45 seconds. So he's halfway around the lap already. So you can see there he's checking how much time left to go in the session. But for Jake Burton, this is a critical lap. As you mentioned, Chad, as far as laps go in the Supercars E-Series for 22, this is an important one for Jake Burton. Needs to get himself towards the front of the field here.
All right, BJR versus Erebus. Walkinshaw and Andretti United on the pole at the moment. Dane Warren still in the pits. That's where he's going to stay right now. His job done. That's a go fetch time, a 1:03.567. It's up to Burton and Down now.
Jack Burton doesn't really look like he's under a whole lot of pressure there, though, does he?
No.
Nice and calm. Plenty of curb. Oh, wide off the exit of the flip-flop. Didn't really get the approach to the final corner exactly how you'd want it. How does it look? Oh, he's aborted the lap, Chad.
Wow.
So, wonder if he got a slowdown actually for dropping a wheel there over the dog leg.
He set one good green sector at the first part of the lap, and then it was all over, and Jared Filsell looks to potentially be out of this one as well.
So for Madison Down, the pressure's off. Now really it's just a matter of which side of the front row he can start from, unless someone else pips him at the end. So he needs to press on with this lap and finish it nicely. I just love watching these guys, how calm they look when they're on a lap. Doesn't really look, no one looks flustered, right in the zone. I guess that's the difference between E-Series and the real thing. In the real thing, where obviously the drivers are covered by a helmet. There's no helmets here, so you get a much better look at the concentration at hand.
I think that's one of the things people really loved about that first All-Star E-Series, watching these drivers as he does the Sebastian Vettel and pulls out of the hot lap, and Caruso bumps him off the front row right at the end. So it's Dane Warren who picks up another pole award. He's done very well here. Unfortunately, not a part of the championship scenario tonight, which seems amazing given that he's the two-time champion and the man who has been the class of the field of late. But it's going to go the way of Madison Down in terms of the championship advantage right now. He's done a fabulous job, put it third. And considering his two main rivals in the championship scenario are coming out of 6 and 7, it's looking pretty good.
Job done. Tick, first job for the night. Qualify strongly. Madison Down's achieved that for sure. We roll through the second page. Jackson Suslin-Harlow out of position there. Finds himself down in 13th.
He's had a tough year, hasn't he, so far this year? But take nothing away for the moment from Dane Warren. Here's our SwiftX pole sitter for tonight. And he's done a very nice job indeed. And he has been the foreman in qualifying for the last few years. Surprising that it's taken this long to get back to another SwiftX pole award. He picked up the first one at Winton, very similar format, another tight track. He likes the small bullring style supercar circuits. And Walkinshaw Ready United man, he's on the pole. And, well, there you go. There's the first box ticked for Madison Down in terms of the championship. And congratulations to him sitting third in the back of this one. I'm looking forward to seeing how that one's going to play out a little bit later on, but we need a quick break here before we turn our attention to the All-Stars, where it's all about Brody Kostecki in season 2022.
The Cash Converters Supercars E-Series is proudly brought to you by Bosch Professional Tools, backed by a 6-year guarantee.
Unreal value just got better at Pizza Hut. Pick up our new range from just $3. Enjoy delicious new sides like flame-grilled meatballs.
Hey, Dougie, mate, this is a pickup ad.
From $3. That's unreal.
Andre Heimgartner on screen here in the RJ Batteries Brad Jones Racing entry.
Hold on, where's the pit crew? What's he stumbled upon here? Ah, looks like the boys are having a bit of fun with their new toy. Get a gaming super bargain at Cash Converters. Click and collect or shop online with a 90-day warranty on most items. Cash Converters, life made possible.
The Cash Converters Supercars E-Series is proudly brought to you by Bosch Professional Tools, backed by a 6-year guarantee.
SwiftX qualifying time for the All-Stars. In the real world, they're the pros, but in this world, they are the All-Stars. And it has been this guy, Brody Kostecki. No one's really been able to get near him, apart from, ironically, the one race we thought he would smash everyone at, which was the Oval. It's the only slip-up he's had so far this year. He's been perfect, apart from that, very strong in the Enduros. And that's pretty much been his face for the last 6 weeks, Garth. Very relaxed.
Very calm. Getting the job done, and quite a lot of the race or qualifying sessions he's been as fast, if not faster, than the Pro Series competitors. I think at the Sandown he would have qualified on pole by a fair margin in the Pro Series as well. So Kostecki certainly knows what he's doing when it comes to E-Series. Seriously fast, and as you said, Chad, it's been near on perfect so far this year. A bit of a wild card race was the Oval, where anything could happen, and it actually did.
Yep.
So this man, though, Justin Rougier, has been knocking right on his rear bumper. Hasn't quite had the roll of the dice, though.
Yeah, particularly qualifying of late. He was right there on that front row of Winton, and then just sort of waned a little bit from there. 13th, 7th, 4th, 18th, these last 4 results. So wants to get back on that front row tonight.
Big recovery drives in the races. He was able to recover nicely. Was Rougier, who's gone to the top with that time, a 4.7.
He's mathematically the only other driver in the field who has a chance of taking this one off Brody tonight. Again, anything can happen. We shouldn't be handing Brody the trophy just yet.
No. But based on the lap time we just saw right there, where he goes to the top by 4.5 tenths of a second, that makes it a whole lot easier.
Yeah.
Qualify on the front row, or on the inside of the front row, pole position by that much of a margin. Brad Vaughan does a nice job there. He jumps to second on his first run, cuts the gap to just over 3 tenths of a second.
Outside of Brody Kostecki, Bradley Vaughan has led the most laps this year.
And most of those would have been on the Oval, I would hazard, because the Cool Drive Mustangs were fantastic on the Oval. They worked together beautifully as a team. Those two didn't get the result at the end of the race, but
yep.
Thought as a team that those two cars were the most effective as far as working together went.
Both winners on the weekend as well. Bradley Vaughan picked up his first Super 3 win. Did a nice job at avoiding all the chaos at the end of that one. I think this is Matt Charter tonight.
He's got his wildcard-like livery on.
Yeah. Is this a sneak peek? He should actually run that livery at Bathurst now. He's just gone and designed it right then. He was meant to be in the Shannon's Mustang tonight. He's unfortunately loaded up the wrong car. Easy to do. That is not Bryce Ford. That's Aaron Borg. He's had a really good year as well. He's sitting 3rd in the points. And he's sitting 5th in this session. Can he jump up the order? The answer would be no. He stays 5th, but that'll be starting a fresh lap potentially for him. Andre Heimgartner back again tonight. His Brad Jones Racing teammate just up the road. And a really nice job from Borg. Another guy who did well on the ovals, which really helped his cause. Led 4 laps for the year so far. Just to put that into perspective, Brody Kostecki's led 74 laps so far this year. So a fair difference. 114 points the gap. Aaron Borg, a realistic chance of potentially finishing 2nd in this championship. He's got a good 47-point buffer back to Bradley Vaughan in 4th place.
Oh, that's Andre Heimgartner visiting the grass. Drop down the hill through the S's before Sutton's corner right here, as Aaron Borg exits 3rd gear corner and heads up over the dog leg. Great bit of road. That was a fantastic bit of road. Cars were on the rev limiter, they were bouncing around everywhere. It was a real challenge to arrest the car braking down the hill into the final corner, because the only thing that was ever going to stop you if you didn't get it right was the concrete wall on the outside. Borg goes to 3rd with that time, drops back to 4th now as Justin Rougier jumps up to front row. Still near on 2 and a bit tenths of a second behind Brody Kostecki.
Our buddy Ruben Goodall inside the top 10. He's doing a nice job again tonight. He's been inside the podium spots on both of his 2 occasions so far since he joined at Phillip Island. And he went and backed it up with a real world podium on the weekend in the Toyotas. He was sitting 25th in points until that came
I feel
about.
like he's come into form since he's come and joined us, Chad, in the E-Series as Ruben Goodall.
All signs are pointing to yes on that one.
I think it's since he's joined the E-Series, I feel like we've improved his performance in the real world.
Funny how that can work sometimes, Jonathan. Here he is right now in the truck assist car.
Well, he did a great job, didn't he? And technically, you know what? That counted as Andrew Gilliam's first pole position, despite the fact Ruben Goodall qualified the car on pole. Well done at Mount Panorama. Bit of piece of history for you guys. The last ever pole position here, Garth Tander, a 1 minute 9.4. We're currently in the 1 minute 4.0 range, and the track conditions today are a little bit hotter because we wanted to simulate what it would be like for our current supercars to race around Oran Park. So we're full 5 seconds quicker around such a short lap.
Ah, yes. Don't worry, Garth spent the entire drive in today telling me about his pole lap there.
It was a pretty good lap, Chad. I remember it. I was on pole by a couple of tenths of a second.
Couple tenths around this place.
It was a lifetime. And it was, I remember, I'm glad they've pumped the temperature up because it was stinking hot. I remember it was a massive event, the final ever Supercars event at Oran Park. And yeah, I remember getting pole. It was a great lap. Really enjoyed that one. It was a big deal because it was Mark Skaife's retirement was announced ahead of all that. And Mark being a Sydney boy or New South Wales boy, there was a massive lot going on, and a teammate with Mark that year as well. So it was a pretty big occasion for the team at HRT. Rick Kelly won the last race, so that really bummed me. I finished second.
Yep. See, that's what I'm looking forward to about Pukekohe as well. It's a sad shame that it's going to close, but at least we get to see one last winner there, because that'd be a pretty cool thing to have your name, especially if you can jag a lap record as well.
Yeah.
2.5 minutes to go in the rest of this session. James Golden coming off the back of a very good result inside the top 10 for Premier High Racing. Sharing the car at the ride day on Monday with Dylan O'Keefe. He's soon to be co-driver for Bathurst. Very busy day at the track on Monday. The man sitting to my left got plenty of laps in as well.
Did a lap or 50 on Monday. It was a very nice day. We got all our rides done before the heavens opened on Monday here in Melbourne.
This guy was not doing rides on Monday. He was working. Sign riding away. Thomas Maxwell got his first ever arm roll pole award, and that was a really nice moment for him. I'll have to back that up right now. He's got a bit of work to do. He sits 12th in the session for Penrite Racing. A team that Grove Racing, as it's now known as, wouldn't have actually raced at the circuit. Kelly certainly did back in the day.
In its previous guys, Kelly Racing definitely competed at Oran Park. But Thomas Maxwell, big weekend for him, like you said, with his first Armour All pole in the Dunlop Series. Didn't get the race results that would have liked. Got caught up in a big incident at the tail end of the second Dunlop Series race, which was seriously unfortunate for all those involved.
Showed some true potential there. That's something that he can definitely build on and roll into Bathurst. That'll be a couple of hotly contested pole awards come Mount Panorama. I'd love to get a top 5 shootout going for the Dunlop Series
at Bathurst?
We've had a Dunlop Series shootout.
Not sure how we'd go for time in the schedule, but I reckon that's a great idea,
It's
Chad.
a little bit on that weekend, I'm told.
It's a little bit
Try
on.
and fit all that in on a Saturday or a Friday. Here we go. Back to Macaulay Jones. Not sure if you saw the suit Macaulay Jones is wearing.
I did. I didn't see it.
Eye-catching.
I didn't see it at the time, but I have since seen a lot of it on Instagram. It's a bit of a male model so far this week, first half of this week. Macaulay Jones on Instagram.
It was pink and blue with black tiger stripes.
Pretty funky.
Yep.
Not sure you'll ever see Garth Tander in a suit like that, but Macaulay Jones
Not without
makes
losing some kind of dare.
Macaulay Jones certainly makes it
There
work.
it is. He should be wearing that suit tonight. We'll see if
should be.
I'll text him, see if we can go find it, and we'll throw it on for the race later tonight.
Okay. You've got that sort of power, Chad, to make things happen like that.
The hoodie's not doing quite as much as the race suit was on Monday. It's probably in the shop, unfortunately, the suit, but we'll see how we go with that. Brady Kostecki's got this one just about signed away. 4/10 is a decent old bowl margin. Back to Justin Brugier. Brad Vaughan doing a really nice job in third. And he'll be buoyed off the back of picking up a round win. Back in championship contention, has to be said as well. That would be a smash and grab in Super 3 if he just rolled up and took that trophy away. Off the back of everyone talking about Kai Allen, he just sneaks in the back door and takes his trophy.
Yeah. Well, it's not over till it's over. Macaulay Jones finishes with a bit of flair.
Nice.
didn't improve the lap time on that run. You reckon Macaulay would have had Brad Jones in his ear all day today, giving him Oran Park stories, given that Brad's done a lap or two around here?
I'd like to think so.
Same for Andre Heimgartner and all the Brad Jones racing team. Brad would have been regaling them of tales of his successes around Oran Park.
Last at bat, Bradley Vaughan. Checkers are out here. Let's see how he's going to go, finishing off this lap.
Bit nervous on entry into the final corner. And aborts the lap into pit lane into what is one of the most sketchiest pit entries that we ever had on the tour.
Some important pit lane entry practice there as we check out Jordan Boys.
Oh,
nice.
Extra points for style.
Oh, I nearly connected it the whole way through. Found a little bit of that tyre wall. Job done. He was driving a couple of the Brad Jones racing cars on Monday, but there's your pole man once again, and that's another $200 worth of Bitcoin thanks to SwiftX. We'll touch more on that in a moment. Let's just check out the results. Yeah, that's not a bad margin. Over 3/10 back to Justin Ruggier. Bradley Vaughan with a really nice job tonight in qualifying. Aaron Borg is in there as well with a pretty good effort inside those top few spots. So championship contenders are all there or thereabouts. It's actually Vaughan's best qualifying performance of the year. So well done to him. Aaron doing a nice job on that second row. Ruben Goodall inside the top 5 again. SwiftX Pole Award. $800 worth of Bitcoin he's collected this year.
Not too bad.
Very nice job.
Certainly been the form man as Brodie Kostecki when it comes to laying down a fast lap time in SwiftX qualifying. Finds himself on pole position by just on 0.3 of a second over championship contender Justin Ruggier, but it's all about this man, Brodie Kostecki. Never raced there in real life, but he's certainly got the hang of it when it comes to iRacing.
Yeah, knows his way around there. So it's going to be Brodie Kostecki on the pole later tonight. And also Dane Warren for the pros. And it's the pros that we cannot wait to see. $10,000 championship night. It's tonight for the Cash Converters Supercars E-Series. Let's go racing. It's all come down to this. Dane Warren, who picks up the first win of the year. The final week of the Cash Converters Supercars E-Series. Winners at Sandown. Jarrett Filsell greets the checkered flag. The title race is wide open. As they run to the line, but Kostecki's gone. He takes Maloney, Kuznetsov with him. He's on his side. Tonight is the night we crown our 2022 champion. Sell and Kostecki combine for the victory. Who will take out the title? Madison Down, your new championship leader with one race to go. Old School Oran Park hosts our championship finale. This is the Cash Converters Supercars E-Series. Yes, good evening. If that doesn't get you excited for the finale, I don't know what to do. Big night coming up. It is the final night of the Cash Converters Supercars E-Series. Garth Tander, aptly sponsored by Cash Converters, because it's cash that we're handing out tonight. $10,000 to the champion, and there's 5 drivers in that fight for the pro title. Good evening to you. I'm pretty pumped up for this.
I'm a bit emotional, Chad.
Yeah.
It's the final round of the championship, and we're racing at Oran Park, which was a personal favourite of mine, and so many drivers that ever raced there. Such a shame that it's not there. Really, really looking forward to this. $10,000. It's going to be on. It's going to be on.
We've had qualifying, and there's a bit of a disparity there because one guy's got a bit of an advantage, and it's the championship leader, so he'll be looking pretty good later.
Yeah, Madison Down finds himself up towards the front, qualified 3rd in this one. And the other championship contenders, Jake Burton and Jared Filsell, find themselves down in 6th and 7th on the grid. So they've got a bit of work to do. Oran Park was always notoriously difficult to overtake, and I feel like Madison Down's put himself in the right spot tonight.
Yeah, all right. Well, it is a famous track. It used to be the place where it all ended in the Supercars Championship. Sadly, it's not there anymore, but it has been captured so well and laser scanned in iRacing. So Garth's going to take us for a Cash Converters course preview around this awesome circuit, Oran Park.
Yeah, it's a fantastic layout, Chad. The way that the circuit would always flow out the back of the circuit was really, really enjoyable and challenging to get right. So the run down the front straight, 6th gear on approach to turn 1, back to 4th gear, across the curb. Always had to be careful of inside front locking down into turn 2. And all this part of the track was all sort of slanted on the side of the hill, so the car always wanted to get away from you on the exit of 2. Back to 2nd gear for turn 3 under the bridge. More than 90 degrees this corner. It was always difficult to get the power on. And then right here, it was really bumpy because you drop in there because the camber from the go-kart track was actually set up for the kart track, not for the cars. And then up and over the bridge, and the car would get very light. 4th gear here, and then you drop down into the Eseries. You always had to hook the curb there on the inside on the right, and then flow the car over the curb on the exit. And then down into Sutton's, back to 3rd gear, hook the curb on the apex, and then hard in the gas for the run, up over the dogleg, one of the most challenging bits of bitumen that we ever had here in Australia. Then dive downhill deep on the brakes, back to 3rd gear, hook the curb, and then don't run the car out too wide and smack the wall on the exit and ruin the lap. It was so challenging to get it right. The supercar always felt massive at Oran Park. It was like it was oversized, supersized, because it was such a compact little bull ring.
Yeah, what a cool, well done, by the way. What a cool little venue that was. It had super truck racing back there in the day. World Superbikes visited there. Mick Doohan won that race. Grand Prix racing there as well once upon a time. So amazing place. Garth, I never got to visit there in the real world, sadly. Can you tell me what it was like? What did you used to love about it?
Oh, it was so hard to get. It was like a mini Bathurst. It really was, because of the way that it would always flow up and down, and you had to use the curbs to hook the car. And if you missed the curb and didn't hook the curb in the right spot, the lap was over. So it was such a challenge to get right. And like I said, supercar always felt way bigger at Oran Park for some reason, just because of the nature of the layout. So getting a lap right there was always such a challenge.
Yeah, so qualifying has been run and done, and that's going to set the grids for what's to come tonight. We're going to flip things around a little bit as well. We're going to run the All-Star Championship. We're going to make you wait for what is going to be a really good finale for the pros tonight. A guy who's always ready for a championship showdown, Jonathan Simon, looks forward to championship night every year. Cannot wait for this one, mate. Tight points battle with 5 drivers in contention. You got to love that. We've never seen that before with the E-Series.
Never seen it. Now, yes, realistically, 3 of them can win the championship, but how about that for a finale? 5 drivers who could walk away with $10,000 in the Supercars E-Series. Let's give you the Shannon's Insurance race facts for both our races tonight. 22 laps of action for each of them. And remember, as Chad said, it's the All-Stars who show up first. They're going to be racing for 22 laps of action, 25 minutes if we need a go time certain. The compulsory pit stop, as usual, that's going to be required for both our series tonight. It's a very long transit down pit lane. You lose half a lap, and that might encourage some of your leaders to pit earlier and use the clear track behind. 12 corners around Oran Park, a circuit that no longer exists, but 2.6 kilometers. We bring it back. It's sentient tonight. Hot spots around the venue. Turns 1 and 2. How about that? Imagine 3 of your championship challengers losing it there. That would be very, very dramatic. 150 points on offer for your winners as well. Championship on the line tonight. Now that's important. And for the All-Stars, drivers must pit in the opening 13 laps of the event. There'll be a mandatory BP Ultimate safety car after that. Shannon's insurance race facts all over. Now, luckily, Chad, we talked about Rick Kelly winning the final ever race here at Oran Park. But Garth, according to the most factual place on the internet, Wikipedia, you're the actual round winner here in 2008, so you can be proud of that, mate.
That's correct, Jonathan. Thank you very much. I was the final round winner, so that's something to hang my hat on. I don't think it gave me a street in the suburb, though. So.
Oh, yes, it did.
Yes,
it did. Don't say it actually connects to Lombardy Court. I know that because Lena Lombardi herself raced there.
Yeah, so therefore, Tander Street in Oran Park is probably named after Leanne, not after Garth.
That's true. All right, love that. Championship-wise, Garth, the pressure is on, particularly the three guys at the top because they're the ones that have it all to lose. How are they feeling? How are they going to handle the pressure? It's not virtual pressure, it's real.
Yeah, well, it's real cash that they're racing for, $10,000, and that's not an insignificant sum of money. So a lot of work gone into this to get it right. Like any championship, it all comes down to the climax tonight. And for Madison Down, that qualifying lap earlier where he put himself ahead of both Jared Filsell and Jake Burton's really probably calmed him right down. And strangely enough, the pressure's probably off both Jake Burton and Jared Filsell because now they've just got to go forward. They have to race their way forward and get in front of Madison Down. So lots of pressure to play for. There's still lots that can go wrong. Still got to launch the car off the line, not get involved in any dramas down at turn 2 or turn 3 at the start for any of the 3 championship contenders. So still no time to take your foot off the gas. You've got to make sure you execute properly.
Yep, so the championship lead will be coming out of 3rd. Jared Filsell will be coming out of 7th. Jake Burton out of 6th tonight. But like I mentioned, it is the All-Stars who are going to take Oran Park first. Stick with us. High chance that Brody Kostecki is going to be walking away with the 2nd championship tonight, but anything can happen. Our friends at Shannon's are giving motoring enthusiasts the chance to win the American Dream Team, a 1967 Ford Mustang Coupe in dark Highland green with a V8 engine, and the all-new 2022 Scout Rogue Indian motorcycle. The prize also includes up to 12 months Shannon's comprehensive car and bike insurance and Shannon's roadside assist, plus $5,000 cash if you're an eligible Shannon's Club member. That's up to $101,000 in prizes.
The Cash Converters Supercars E-Series is proudly brought to you by Cash Converters.
Andre Heimgartner on screen here in the R&J Batteries Brad Jones Racing entry.
Hold on, where's the pit crew? What's he stumbled upon here? Ah, looks like the boys are having a bit of fun with their new toy. Get a gaming super bargain at Cash Converters. Click and collect or shop online with a 90-day warranty on most items. Cash Converters, life made possible.
Unreal value just got better at Pizza Hut. Pick up our new range from just $3. Enjoy delicious new sides like flame-grilled meatballs.
Hey, Dougie, mate, this is a pickup ad.
From $3. That's unreal.
Good times, Pizza Hut.
Cash Converters Supercars E-Series is proudly brought to you by Cash Converters.
That was Sandown. I remember it like it was just there on the weekend. As a matter of fact, it was a great round of Repco Supercars action at Sandown. A little bit of everything that we had thrown at us at the weekend. Now we get to turn our attention to a track that we used to love watching back when supercars ran around here in front of huge crowds. Sadly, not there anymore. It's Oran Park tonight for the final round of the E-Series. All-Stars, remember they're the pros in the real world, but the All-Stars on iRacing tonight are going to take centre stage for us. First tonight, Brody Kostecki commanding lead. Garth is just about got this one in the bag. He's on the pole as well.
He certainly put himself in the right spot. 114 points over Justin Rougier, who are the only two that can take out tonight's championship. Aaron Borg currently running third. And Brad Vaughan, who's done a nice job this year, out of with fourth. Ruben Goodall, who's really coming into form in the Toyota 86 series. Yeah. I feel like it's the work that you've been doing with him, Chad, on the E-Series here.
I like that he's fifth in the championship. He's raced 2 rounds.
Yeah, it's the card.
Yeah, it's the card. Just in case you're wondering, I could have swore I only saw that kid do 2 races so far. Let's check out where exactly he'll be starting on our truck assist starting grid tonight. Brody Kostecki, Justin Rougier, first and second in the points, first and second in the grid. I do like that 99 versus 88. We go back and find Brad Vaughan, who's got his best qualifying performance of the night. Aaron Borg third in the points for the Middies electrical team. Down to Ruben Goodall doing a very nice job. He's starting alongside Andre Heimgartner. 2 weeks ago, Andre didn't even know who Ruben Goodall was, and now he's starting alongside him tonight. James Golding's coming out of 7th alongside Jaden Ojeda, who's doing Walkinshaw and Andretti United laps in the real world on Monday, as was Jordan Boys down at at Brad Jones Racing. Zach Best was at Tickford on the weekend. Cameron Crick, he raced in Super 2 on the weekend. He's out of car 11. And Thomas Maxwell, he picked up an Armour All Pole Award on the weekend. Macaulay Jones here, ready to go alongside Jackson Walls driving for Team 18. Tyler Everingham driving that car in the real world at Bathurst. Matt Charter, hopefully he's got the Shannon's livery if he missed qualifying. He loaded up the wrong car. And we've got Jordan Cox off the back in the SwiftX car tonight. There's a couple of Andres for you.
Andre and his twin.
Yep. And he's ready to go tonight. Back to form, finished inside the top 10 of one of those races at Sandown. The ever-quick Aaron Borg, quite versatile, pretty handy Toyota 86 steerer from back in the day, quite quick in the utes, doing a nice job in the E-Series. The ever-relaxed Zach Best.
Is he awake?
Yeah, doesn't...
Just text him. Make sure he's awake for the start of the race.
Not much fires up, Zach. Extremely relaxed guy.
We've had people forget to log in at the right time. I don't want Zach to miss the race because he's asleep. Yeah. Zach, are you with us?
Hello, Zach.
Wake up.
He's all right. Jordan Cox, he's awake. It's good to go in the SwiftX car tonight. Fortunately, didn't do too well tonight on SwiftX qualifying. There is Macca. He's taken the hoodie off from earlier. Actually, we're going to text him and see if we can get the race suit out.
Race suit on.
Too late for that now.
Gallery in the background there is Macca.
Team cheering him on. What's Macca got for us planned tonight, starting out of the mid-pack? Growing in numbers back there tonight.
Where else is going to pop
Engineering
out from behind the monitor back there? Got cats or dogs back there, Macca?
Bradley is going to pop up and do a few laps. So here we go, last race for the All-Stars. Brody Kostecki looking to put a little exclamation mark on season 2022. He has been the man. Unusual way that we're gridding him up.
Reminds me of a race we did there in 2007 where the entire field came to pit lane to put wets on. There was 3 cars on the grid. What has got that feel about this one, Chad?
They'll be there eventually. Classic big crowd in the last corner. That was certainly a hallmark of racing at Oran Park. Rougier needs a miracle to win this one in the Cash Converters car. He would need some kind of internet outage and a race win tonight. But stranger things have happened. You never know. Hopefully for Brody's sake, that would be a cruel, cruel way to lose it. Final night. Brad Vaughan's got the headlights flashing already. He's ready to go. How about Aaron Borg out of 4th for Brad Jones Racing? As we go green and we're racing at Oran Park.
Nice launch by Brodie Kostecki. Aaron Borg's got a good one up the inside as well of Justin Rougier. Does he get there? No, but Brad Vaughan sweeps around the outside. Nice job. Here comes Ruben Goodall.
Oh, 3 wide. No way, that's not going to work. Borg bowls them all out of the way. Heimgartner buys into this one. Aggressive stuff from Aaron Borg. That was cool. 3 wide at turn 2.
Not done yet, Chad. Andre now around the outside at turn 3 on Ruben Goodall. 2 wide. Drops back into 6. James Golding shoves it up the inside as they turn to come up over the bridge. Good racing so far. Lots of side by side. Eventually single file as they make their way up and over the bridge for the first time.
A feisty little start to this one. And Heimgartner in the thick of things, dropping back a couple of spots. Just found himself on the wrong side of the road on a couple of corners. Into this far pass up Sutton's towards the dog leg. Little right left, grab a bit of curb, bump it up on 2 wheels. Jam it back down to 2nd gear. Rougier to the inside.
Decision
Bang.
by Rougier.
Coming through. That's some old school Oran Park racing right there.
Can opener there and open that one up, Chad.
No.
Heimgartner's around.
In front of the crowd. Andre's looking the wrong way. Bit going on here. I'm not too sure what happened to Jordan Cox as well. But I get the feeling he didn't load up for this one. Cash Converters instant cash replay. Oh, just got the back of him.
Zach Best.
He went with him in sympathy as well.
He had an option. So started right at the top of the dog leg, took all the way to the apex of the final corner to sort that one out. But Rougier, that big move on Aaron Borg at the final corner, it was a late one, got in there, opened the door. Ruben Goodall went with him, so Goodall runs 4th, Rougier 3rd. Brodie Kostecki's gone up the road. Brad Vaughan's after him though. The gap between 1st and 2nd, just over 1 second.
All right, let's take you inside the cabin. Sure, sounds of the game. Crank it up and just enjoy the ride. Jonathan, this is the final race of the championship. You don't have to be a maths whiz right now to know that Brodie Kostecki's on for the championship win.
Hey, Chad, sorry guys. Yep, so we're just checking in everything here at the moment. So Jordan Cox, what's happened to him was, I thought he started from pit lane, and he did start the race from pit lane. And what's happened is he's had internet trouble, so they had to pull that car in the pits. The Swift X car is out of the race at the moment. I think Ruggier's got troubles. What's wrong with that car? He's going to go straight into pit lane, and if his race is over, this could be the championship for Brodie Kostecki.
I think he's blown an engine.
I think he has.
How has that happened?
Black smoke. It's not white smoke, so that's not.
That is a rarity.
That's an engine.
It came through the dog leg. It looked quick. And bit of an over-rev, and bang, there it goes.
Yeah.
Cash Converters moment.
To the final corner, just mid-corner.
On the downshift. Back to 2nd.
Maybe. Zigged her up on the downshift, easy to do.
Wow. Well, that certainly moved the championship in the way of Brodie Kostecki.
That's a decent engine change. Look at that. Ruggier's on his way again.
Now, I thought Walkinshaw was quick on the weekend.
85 minutes.
Wow,
nothing on what they can do in iRacing.
8.5 seconds, I'll raise you. He's going to struggle to stay in the lead lap here, but that is his compulsory stop done at least.
Yeah, but he'll be in serious tyre trouble at the end of this one.
Blew an engine in the right spot.
Yeah, well, if you're going to blow an engine, do it at the last corner, right before pit entry, but Brodie Kostecki now has near on 2.5 seconds. Back to Brad Vaughan, so continues to open the gap. Does Brodie Kostecki, and with championship rival Justin Rougier striking trouble early in this one. It's looking roses for Brodie Kostecki right now.
After a couple of close races recently, Phillip Island in particular. I get the feeling he just wants to obliterate the field tonight. Just wants to smash everybody. There will be a safety car, BP Ultimate safety car later, which will close the field back up.
Good point you make there, because traditionally Brodie hasn't really run away from the field in the first part of the race. He's always waited for that safety car to get over and done with, because he knows that the field's going to get bunched up. But there's a bit of
very serious.
It's not an expression session going on here, I think.
He is out of here. Catch me if you can, boys. The Boost Mobile Erebus car is on a serious charge. Have a look at this. 104.4 his best, 104.6 his last. And he is just cutting away into the distance. Vaughan Goodall-Borg, here he is in 4th place. Probably on for 2nd in the championship, depending on how much Rougier can bounce back from the blown engine.
Borg makes his way down through the kink into turn 2. Jordan Boys just behind him in the Repco Mustang, having a nice run tonight.
Yeah, had a little slip off the road in SwiftX qualifying. Despite that, looking good inside the top 5. There's been a few different drivers in that car, but finished 6th last week at Bathurst. Jordan Boys, as we check back in with Jonathan.
Now, I got down to the bottom of why that happened to Justin Rougier, and yeah, just confirming it was very aggressive on the downshifts. Now, you know who's not going to be happy with that is Shane van Gisbergen, who I can confirm this round. He's been spotting for so many drivers. He's spotting for Justin Rougier here tonight. I wish Gizzy was out there driving, though. He's such a talent here. He won here back at the All-Stars in 2020 when we raced here virtually.
He did. He won that first race of the night, and that was his championship night to win up the All-Stars fight.
Made his Supercars debut at Oran Park.
He did too.
2007.
Team Kiwi, his very young teenage SVG. Had a couple of choices after winning his Formula Ford Championship in New Zealand, in which direction he would go. Get the feeling he made the right choice.
Well, it was pretty attractive to go, and it was Team Kiwi, but the car was run out of Stone Brothers Racing, so as a young up-and-coming New Zealand race car driver to go and race for Ross and Jimmy Stone would have been a pretty cool thing to go and do. To do that in the Supercars Championship would have been pretty appealing to Shane.
Not sure if he's got the broadcast on as he's spotting Justin Rougier tonight, but a big g'day to our 2020 All-Stars E-Series champion.
Big fan of your work, Chad. Shane is, so you're watching.
He's a very big fan of your work when you're driving. You were driving his car on Friday. Drove rather well inside the top 3 in that practice, co-driver practice session. And then did plenty more laps in the Monday ride day. Garth and Shane will be sharing that car 97 at the Great Race as we check out the Juice. He's got a very DJR race suit on from the late 80s, early 90s
right.
there.
Running a pretty retro race suit.
As he takes a nice deep breath. He also had internet outages last week, which really just put a full stop on Dane Warren's championship charge. That was a shame. Dane had a pretty good run in the championship. He picked up that first race win in the pros, and it looked like, okay, it's going to be more Walkinshaw and Andretti United pace in the E-Series. And it all came unstuck in the Enduros. Just got from bad to worse from that point onwards. So incredibly not in the championship picture tonight. First night ever that we've come to the last round of the E-Series without Walkinshaw and Andretti United in the championship scenario. They've won every year so far. New team tonight, will it be BJR or will it be Erebus? We check out Justin Rougier. He's already had that pit stop. Not a huge undercut advantage around this track with the low tyre deck.
Just looking at the lap times of Justin Rougier as we take a Cash Converters instant cash moment. What we got here, Chad?
This will be the Juice. And he's up the back of
Jordan
Jordan Boys. Jordan and Jaden.
The Repco lawnmower makes his way through the S's. It's not the fast way to approach Sutton's Corner, but I was just looking at the lap times of this man on screen. Oh, there are Jada.
Wow.
What's going on here at the exit of the final corner?
Is this another motor?
Not sure. I'm just hurt. I actually noticed one of the onboards that they were all using that same technique that we saw at Sandown, where they'd shift down an extra gear to slow the car down, and then in the mid-corner effectively short shift back into the regular gear to drive off the corner. And I wonder whether they're just, because they're going back to second, it's over-revving the engine heading down the hill into that final corner.
Well, Jonathan, that's something for Brodie Kostecki to just watch out for then. Don't want to do any over-revs of the engine down there at the last corner.
Yeah, you don't want to butcher the championship. He only needs to be classified and finish 75% of the race distance, and he'll win the championship. That's it. Easy task. Easy said than done. Now, for Jayden Ojeda, I think he had the pit limiter on. He's still got it, and he's still trundling down pit lane. I'd love to say he's trundling past me, but he's not, because I'm sitting here at home virtually. Now, along with that, I think he's out of fuel. I just think the car, I can't hear the engine, so I think that car is out of fuel, and I think he's trying to get it to the line. He's going 18 kilometers an hour at the moment. Will he make it to the pit bay? This is the most exciting part of the race this evening, I reckon.
The race to the pit bay.
Well, it was downhill, that pit lane, so if you just rolled her in there, she will roll downhill.
It's going to roll past Jordan Cox, who was a DNS tonight.
DNS. Here he comes, Jayden. His pit box all the way down towards pit exit.
At least he's not going to get done for speeding in pit lane tonight. There he goes, made it. Smile, Jayden. Hopefully he'll have real racing to focus on when he gets along further in the year. Matt Stone Racing, sharing with Todd Hazelwood at the Great Race. Got a co-driver session on Friday as well. A couple of good performances as a wild card at Walkinshaw and Red United. It was interesting, despite the fact that he is a co-driver for Matt Stone Racing, he was doing laps on Monday at Walkinshaw and Red United.
I saw that. It was strange, wasn't it? He obviously has a strong connection to Walkinshaw and Red United. Did the 2 wildcard appearances for that team this year, did Jayden Ojeda.
Should be said, MSR only had 1 car going on the ride day, so that could also contribute to that. Matt Charter did some real-world laps on Monday as well, in the car that Neil Crompton drove there last year.
Which is the car that Matt Charter will use for his wildcard appearance at Bathurst for his team to run.
So 2 laps left before the pit stop window closes. I wonder what shirt Cameron Crick's running tonight. Right on cue.
It's
done away with the
very
Hawaiian
line
number.
and length, isn't it? It's very
Very
corporate
line and
tonight. That's disappointed in that, Cameron.
If that was a pizza shirt, that'd be a margarita.
Yeah,
Just,
I want
very
based
basic.
on the weekend that Cameron Crick had on the weekend, it would have anchovies, it'd have stuff spread everywhere with the shirt.
Poor guy. So practice 1, got 3 laps in, hit the curb at turn 2, broke the steering, wham, straight into the wall. What a way to start the weekend off, then missed the second practice session. So to roll straight into qualifying with virtually no laps. Tough weekend for Cameron Crick at Eggleston. But doing a nice job here tonight.
Yep, currently running 6th in this one. Gone up 5 spots as Cameron Crick.
Had a tough run in the championship though. Hasn't really worked out his way so far this year. It's 18th in points in the cool little Pizza Hut car. Best result of 10th so far this year at Phillip Island. We'd love to get another top 10 tonight. We'll see how this all fares out after the pit stop window and that BP Ultimate safety car. Back to Macaulay Jones.
Looks like he's done a bit of remodelling to the side of his Commodore with the concrete wall. Easy to do at Oran Park. Exiting the final corner. Used to be a concrete wall just here, Chad, on the exit, and used to always run it out right out to the wall there as well.
I feel like they've reframed their onboard camera after the little cameo appearance.
The gallery's gone missing in the background. Tightened the shot up.
He's working the track right now. Yeah, track that his dad would have raced at on many occasions. Many kinds of vehicles. Cameron Crick's dad would have had some laps in the trucks here as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Back in the day, they were a huge draw car.
It was a massive thing, the trucks at Oran Park. Imagine like a truck rolling around this, John. I made mention that the supercar used to feel big at Oran Park. Into the lane comes Macaulay Jones, and that's a really graphic example of just how tight it was to get into that pit lane. Really, really challenging to get in there and not get collected as you're braking to get yourself into that pit entry, because it was right on line as the exit of the final corner. Not sure if you built a track today, Chad, that they would allow that as far as safety goes.
Yep. Quite past the FIA test, that one. Now, he's got a difficult ask because his pit bay is right where Jordan Cox is, which doesn't help. Got to drive through that car to be able to see your iRacing guy with the board, car controller, the way he goes.
Brodie Kostecki at the top of the lane, making his way into pit lane as well.
Yep, last lap of the window. So that was a simple one for Brodie, simple strategy. Come in right at the end.
That gap was out to over 8 seconds prior to the pit stop for
Brodie
Kostecki. So means business tonight, does Brodie. Like there's a no mercy type of feeling amongst Brodie Kostecki's mindset this evening.
So everyone in the field should have pitted by the end of this lap. Just waiting to see if Cameron Crick's going to take this chance. He does.
Justin Rougier is the first that didn't pit now because he already pitted at the start of the race with that blown engine. Let's hear from Jonathan.
Now, Dane Warren, who's got pole position, he'll have that same pit bay. So, interestingly enough, look at the angle that you have to exit. It might cost you a few tenths. Now, if the gap in the pit stops is a few tenths, that could make the difference right there. And I remember back in 2019, I think it was, Chad, the first ever Pro E-Series we had. I think the race went down to that. It was very similar. So, look out for that later on in the Pro Series event.
All right, tip from the pros there. Jonathan Simon knows his way
Jonathan,
around
just
iRacing.
to check what happened with Brodie Kostecki's pit stop there as well, because the gap was massive and something got your attention, Chad.
Yeah.
And now the gap's down to just over 1 second between...
It went up on the jacks twice.
Yeah, so we'll get Jonathan to check out exactly what took place there and why Brodie Kostecki's pit stop looks like it took, well, it did. It took 6 seconds longer.
Yeah, look at the gap now.
Than Brad Vaughan's pit stop. So.
Brad Vaughan's on him. It's not going to matter at all because there's going to be a safety car soon and then it'll be on him anyway. So he's got away with it.
But
good thing he had that lead.
Absolutely.
Had he not built 8 seconds, he had such a big lead, he changed his tyres twice.
Maybe there's a bit of parody going on mid-pit stop.
I could have swore I saw that car come down and then back up again on the jacks. So, an unusual one. Much slower pit stop. Does all 4 tyres at the same time. If you have raced a bit on iRacing, depending on what you're in, it'll do left side, right side if you're doing something like NASCAR. But straight up in the jacks and all 4 at once in the supercar usually should take about 10 seconds. Quickest stop that I can see, 9.5 seconds. Macaulay Jones. Brad Jones Racing.
Brad Jones Racing.
Seriously.
Yeah, not bad.
Here it is. Car go up. Car go down. Car go up. Hang on a minute. They're not quite on yet. I tell you what, sometimes the real world just copies the virtual world a little too much for my liking.
We've seen that once or twice in pit lane, haven't we, this year, Chad? Brad Vaughan leaving Sutton's corner for the run over the dog leg. That gap now starting to open up just over near on 1.5 seconds between Brodie Kostecki and Brad Vaughan, but no need for Brodie Kostecki to drop the hammer right now. As we know, the BP Ultimate Safety Car will be coming shortly.
So, riddle me this, Garth, as we edge closer to the BP Ultimate Safety Car. There's a bit of chat up and down pit lane that Cool Drive could enter a team, this car in particular, into the Dunlop Series next year. This young guy's got a bit of a connection there now. He's raced Super 3, potentially ready to step up to Super 2. Could he be a natural fit, potentially, at Cool Drive?
They've got 2 options, haven't they?
They do.
Cool Drive with Brad Vaughan driving for them here in the Cash Converters Supercars E-Series, but also Josh Anderson, who races a Cool Drive little Aussie racing car, who won the championship on the weekend as well. So
Aussie #1.
Yeah, so there's a couple of options there. I actually had a bit of a chat with team owner Tim Blanchard about that in Townsville earlier this year, about the future and what they're looking at doing, and certainly looking at trying to develop a bit of a junior academy amongst the Cool Drive drivers that they have in their stable. So I think there's a chance that we will see the current car that Tim Slade's driving in the Repco Supercars Championship will make its way into the Dunlop Series next year, and a younger driver will be driving it. So good opportunity there for some of the younger Cool Drive supported drivers.
That'd be awesome, wouldn't it? Jonathan, get the resume, mate.
Yeah, well, it's not that impressive. I don't think I would. I don't think I'd get it in. But your man here was working overtime, though. He was working furiously to try and get down to the bottom of what happened at that virtual Erebus pit stop. So I think, now, was that the BP car in the background, guys?
That was Zach Best sliding off with the gravel. Yep. That's right.
So he's not doing the best job at the moment. But with him, so with Brodie Kostecki, I think it was pure error. So I think he's actually ticked the tyres. What you do is you press, I want to take tyres, and he might have ticked it off and then back on. So he's done it twice. Now, along with that, I don't know if he's telling the truth or not, but he told Ruben Goodall on the server, who inquired about it, that he took on a full tank of fuel as well. So if he has, that's not going to be good enough for your safety car restart.
True, it'd be substantially heavier than the rest of the pack. So an unusual one. So it doesn't seem to be slowing him down all that much at the moment. That last lap was his best lap of the race, 104.36. So he seems quite happy out there at the moment. Cash Converters instant cash replay here.
Drops a outside rear on the approach to turn 4 to Zach Best. Not his best approach to a corner.
Oh, well, Zach Worst, if you ask me.
Zach Worst.
And that was enough to bring out our BP Ultimate Safety Car, even though he got that car moving. So, confusingly, it's picked up Zach Best as well. Just a little chance for a BP Ultimate photo shoot.
Safety cars.
There you go. Get that as a screenshot. Put it up on the wall for Zach Best.
I think Bert's got that as his screenshot.
It was actually really cool seeing young Bert getting around at Sandown on the weekend. Here it is.
There you go.
Now, hang on a bit. Oh, no, don't tell me he's going to nail the safety car.
Don't crash into the safety car, Zach.
Oh, that is awesome. Moment of the year.
You'll have Harry Hogg in the window shortly.
That is great. The safety car just pops out of nowhere and Zach Best nearly smashes into the back of it down there at turn 2. That was my favourite instant cash moment of the year so far. Saved it till the last round. Zach Best nearly having a Walter Rincar moment, wiping out the safety car at turn 2. That is great. Bert would have had a serious clean-up down there at turn 2.
Yeah, it would have been a serious clean-up.
Oh, no, he's nailed the pedestrian
He has
wall.
hit everything out there now, has Zach Best. He hit the safety car, now he's hit everything else out there. Harry Hogg would be happy.
At least we know who's spotting for Zach Best tonight. That is great. A few more wave bys going on. Now, this is all Brody Kostecki needs, is someone to run into him right now trying to pass the safety car. He looks nice and relaxed at the moment. He was racing last week at the workshop on a members' night. Didn't slow him down much. Won that one comfortably. And I get the feeling he means business tonight. If you're wondering, unfortunately, for Brody's case, doesn't carry the similar payday that the pros gather up, $10,000 to win in the pros. Now then, are we going to get back this time by? We're going to go one more lap here, I would have thought.
Drop the hammer.
No, we're on.
We're on.
Here we go.
It's go time, Chad.
Gee, you timed that well. And the pressure is actually on Ruben Goodall here, who puts the move to the outside of Bradley Vaughan. Here we go, side by side through turn 1. Can he switch this back down here? Vaughan's awake to that move.
Yep, he covers. So Goodall tries to keep his nose up the inside for turn 3, but can't get it done. Will he send it anyway? He's deep in there, Chad.
Here we go. Good racing.
Nice racing.
Oh, Vaughan with the slide at the exit.
Ruben Goodall to second. This guy come from the clouds. Come from the clouds in the E-Series.
Yeah.
Come into a bit of form in the Toyota 86 Series on Sandown on the weekend.
Yeah. It's going to roll up to the back of Brody Kostecki and go, remember me?
Bit of Russ Wheeler action.
Here he is to put the pressure on. So Brad Vaughan back to 3rd. This could be his first podium of the year tonight in Cool Drive colours. Just backing up his Super 3 round win on the weekend. So it is really unusual how success in the virtual world trickles over into the real world and vice versa at the moment. Confidence is confidence.
A little bit of confidence thing, Chad,
Yeah.
certainly. I mean, just having a good night, effectively racing against Brody Kostecki. Doesn't matter if it's in iRacing or not, but just getting that confidence makes a massive difference for a young driver. Just believing that what they are doing is working for them. Andre Heimgartner having a look up the inside of Cameron Crick. Nothing having there. So Heimgartner tries to send it up the inside. Cameron Crick blocks too deep.
Whoops.
On the brakes at turn 3. Exit stage left, Cameron Crick.
He's going to lose a bunch of spots after the restart now. Andre, both of them, happy with that move. Working up towards the top of the bridge on the figure 8, in car 8. Not too many circuits in the world like that. Suzuka would be the only one I could possibly think of off the top of my head that had the figure 8 layout.
There'll be others.
Wonder why that is. Why no more figure 8 circuits out there?
That's a good question.
Motegi's twin rings. Motegi got a
Wing.
potentially.
No, I think the oval.
Oh, it's the oval that
the
goes
road
over it.
course
That's what it
goes
is.
under
Yep.
the oval.
I suppose Monza was the original
Yes.
figure 8 circuit
Yes, it
back in
was.
the day. But yeah, a very cool layout, Oran Park. Was it an add-on, an addition?
Yes, it was.
Right.
So this whole section was an add-on. There was the original short track used to turn off the front straight before the bridge, and it was much, much shorter. So none of this section where we are right now on circuit existed, and this was all added, I think, for a Grand Prix type event that they had. They extended the circuit. Not sure exactly when that took place, and they took the opportunity to build in the motocross, or the motorbike section, the kart section, all sort of came into that new turn 1, turn 2, turn 3 complex.
I'm glad you asked. The Australian Grand Prix was hosted here in 1974.
There you go. I reckon that's probably when it was added then, Chad.
Yep. That's when Leila Lombardi competed at Oran Park. One of the fastest women to ever race in Formula 1. No, obviously it wasn't an official Formula 1 race, but the Australian Grand Prix was still a huge event that changed to different venues. Race is on here. How about this for a comeback from Rugia? Can he get back to the podium tonight? It's going to be tough on the last lap. Final lap for Brodie Kostecki. First hosted Supercars racing back when it was the Australian Touring Car Championship in the 70s. And was a famous venue all the way up to the mid-2000s. But cool that we get to enjoy it on iRacing all the same. World Superbikes raced here in the 80s. McDoing, a race winner here.
Race there,
How cool is that? Bikes around here would have been pretty frantic stuff.
Kevin McGee raced here.
Yep.
Wayne Gardner would have raced here.
How cool is that?
Some serious names.
All the legends of Aussie motor racing. Brodie Kostecki is going to add his little name to that list of winners tonight. As the fight still goes on behind him with Rugia pouring the pressure on Jordan Boys. It's last corner though for your race winner, and now a two-time All-Star champion sliding out of the last corner. He's crushed the field at Oran Park. Brodie Kostecki wins the All-Star E-Series. Behind him, Rugia trying to find whatever hole he can to get there. He recovers to 6th. Borg 4th, so Rugia probably hanging on to 2nd of the championship, I'd say. Ruben Goodall, 3rd, 2nd. What a way to close out the championship for him.
Nice job, very nice job, Ruben Goodall.
He's done very well. Time to celebrate for this guy. He's going to do burnouts in the most inconvenient spot and get nailed. Is that Cameron Crick?
Cameron Crick.
Absolutely toasting the race winner and your champion. That ZB Commodore is about a foot shorter in the rear end.
Now, isn't it?
That was cool. There's your race results. Brodie Kostecki, even after filling that thing up in the pit stop potentially, goes and puts 3.2 seconds on the field. Ruben Goodall 2nd. Brad Vaughan, his first podium. Nice job. Aaron Borg inside the top 5. Jordan Boys doing a nice job tonight as well. A good result to him. And Jordan Cox beaten by the safety car. That's a tough night of racing.
Night.
He got more laps in tonight, the safety car. Beat him by a lap.
Yeah, when Bert in the safety car beats you, you know you had not had a great night.
Bosch race highlights. Final race for the All-Stars in what has been a really enjoyable E-Series campaign. How about turn 2? 3-weight action.
It was on early, wasn't it? Ruben Goodall and Andre Heimgartner were into it. Then Zach Best just tagged the back of Andre Heimgartner as they made their way over the dogleg at the end of the first lap. Justin Rougier was up the front early, but then buzzed an engine at the final corner. We saw a bit of this. Luckily for Rougier, he was able to get into pit lane. Brodie Kostecki, a bit of a drama in the pit stop. A long pit stop for him, but he'd opened up a massive gap prior to the pit stop window opening, so he was able to get away with this one. Then Zach Best.
Highlight of the year.
Just got caught out by the BP Ultimate safety car.
It's probably rolled over and go, what the hell's that thing? Oh, it's a safety car. Jammed on the brakes. Around it goes. After that safety car intervention, Brodie Kostecki was still in a league of his own. No one really got near him. And just too fast so far this year. Dominating the whole championship. There was just that one race where he couldn't quite get to the front of the field at Michigan. Celebrated with some big skids in front of all his friends.
Cameron Crick coming in the dust to join the party in the background there.
Well, watch out. It's like putting the donuts on the door of a NASCAR winner. He gets absolutely nailed by Cameron Crick. All right, well done. He's just too good, Garth. No one really was ever going to challenge him. I mean, it would take a Shane Van Gisbergen or someone to be able to catch him, I think, out there.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, Brodie was a class of his own, wasn't he, over the championship and did an awesome job.
Sure, live chat with our champion, Brodie Kostecki. Congratulations, mate. You've gone back-to-back. You look like you meant business tonight.
Yeah, it was good to top off the championship with a win and to qualify on pole and just to lead the whole race was pretty cool. And
you've also picked up $800 worth of Bitcoin this year, just with your Armour All Pole Awards and your SwiftX Pole Awards as well, mate. So you've just about wrapped everything up in dominant fashion. You're pretty happy to have the season that you've had.
Yeah, definitely. It's always good to.
No, push to talk's not working. You push to talk, Brodie. Try the push to talk button. There we go.
Hello?
Take two.
Oh,
take
you
two.
got me?
Technology, Garth. Oh no, we've lost
Hello?
our champion.
1, 2, 3.
I reckon he's doing it on purpose.
He didn't want to do the media.
I wanted to ask him what he did wrong in the pit stop. No, I reckon he's
Sorry,
doing it
bro.
on purpose.
We can't hear you, mate.
No, we've lost you.
Discord's packed it in for us. Anyway, Well,
well done. Good job.
He doesn't look too impressed.
Thanks for coming. See you next time, Brody.
Sorry, Brady. That's all right. We'll have to get him on the social media instead to tell us how good he feels. Thumbs up and okay. 2 words. Sounds like he's the champion. All right, that's a shame. But, yeah, he's been the class of the field so far this year, Garth. No one really was ever going to challenge him, it looked like.
No, it looked like Rougier could go with him early at the first round at Winton, but from pretty much Sandown onwards, Brody just dominated the championship. It was only that little glitch on the oval at Michigan where anything could have happened, and it did to Brody. But given his speed at the every other round, he was able to mitigate that one weekend at Michigan. So complete performance this season.
Outside of Brody's year, is there anyone else that caught your eye in the All-Star? It's a bit of a different All-Star field this year.
Oh, well, Ruben Goodall, isn't it? I mean, you can't go past a kid that no one had really even heard of. He'd been racing around in the Toyota 86 Series a little bit in the back of the field, but he turned up in the E-Series, was right at the front, and was absolutely nailed it from as soon as he turned up the E-Series, and it converted into his Toyota form.
Yep.
Found himself running inside the top 5 in the Toyota 86 Series at Sandown on the weekend. So for me, the find of the season's been Ruben Goodall.
Just to put a little full stop on that, Ruben's championship form in the 86s, he had set 25th, 19th, 21st, and didn't get much better from there. 30th, 24th, 22nd. And then he does the E-Series and bang, he nails a podium. So
I think it's the nail-on effect. I think that's what it is, the Chad nail-on effect.
Exactly. That's all we needed to do. All right, need a quick break here. We're going to turn our attention very shortly to the pros and $10,000 up for grabs. Who's going to take that one out tonight? Stick with us. Our friends at Shannon's are giving motoring enthusiasts the chance to win the American Dream Team. A 1967 Ford Mustang Coupe in dark Highland green with a V8 engine and the all-new 2022 Scout Rogue Indian motorcycle. The prize also includes up to 12 months Shannon's comprehensive car and bike insurance and Shannon's roadside assist. Plus $5,000 cash if you're an eligible Shannon's Club member. That's up to $101,000 in prizes.
The Cash Converters Supercars E-Series is proudly brought to you by Repco, driven by passion for 100 years.
A lot of history hidden in this place. Bit of elbow grease, splash of racing. Eleanor, and 100 years later you've got this. A place driven by passion. Some people call us car nuts, rev heads. Reckon we've got 10W30 running through our veins. But the truth is, everyone at Repco has an unexplainable bond with motoring. The journey's been a ride, from navigating open roads to wrangling uncharted tracks. For 100 years, we've been driven by passion. What happens in the future? Well, you'll have to wait and see.
Unreal value just got better at Pizza Hut. Pick up our new range from just $3. Enjoy delicious new sides like flame-grilled meatballs.
Hey, Dougie, mate, this is a pickup ad.
From $3. That's unreal.
Andre Heimgartner on screen here in the R&J Batteries Brad Jones Racing entry.
Hold on, where's the pit crew? What's he stumbled upon here? Ah, looks like the boys are having a bit of fun with their new toy. Get a gaming super bargain at Cash Converters. Click and collect or shop online with a 90-day warranty on most items. Cash Converters, life made possible.
The Cash Converters Supercars E-Series is proudly brought to you by Repco, driven by passion for 100 years.
Every race, every lap, every pass has been so critical in the tight point scenario that is the Cash Converter Supercars E-Series Pro ranks. As we roll into the last night, it has never been this close. Can you believe how tight the top three is? 150 points for the race win, so mathematically, everyone inside the top 5 a chance. You don't get too many championship showdowns, Garth, that are this close.
Not when there's $10,000 on the line, Chad. So Madison Down has certainly come into some real form. A couple of race wins, done a nice job in qualifying, got himself in the right spot.
All right, Sure Live Chat. Let's see how the championship leader is feeling. Madison, you've raced in all kinds of online competitions. Have you ever had the sort of pressure that you've got coming up tonight?
Oh, nothing quite like this. We've been a part of some big series, but to be in the situation we are now, this close with 3 in the fight and, you know, what is the biggest Australian series at the moment, it's pretty unbelievable.
Were you relieved off the back of SwiftX qualifying to put a couple rows between yourself and the other boys?
Absolutely, yeah. It was all about executing that lap. So to be right on the personal best that I'd done in practice was pretty good. Just takes a little bit of pressure off, but hey, it's a long race. A lot can happen.
All right, long night coming up for you tonight, mate. Best of luck for the race. You're leading the championship. We'll go and check in with the man now who sits second in the points driving for Erebus. We've just seen one Erebus car win a championship. Jared, how badly do you want to make it double trouble tonight for the Boost team?
Yeah, that would be great to finish off the year. Like that with the double championship win, but yeah, unfortunately with my qualifying performance, I'm on the back foot, but no, we'll give it a red hot crack.
Yeah, off the back of qualifying, Jared, certainly probably a little bit out of position for you tonight. What's the plan in the race here? Is it maximum attack straight from the green light?
Yeah, definitely. We have to make the moves early because it's notoriously hard to pass here. So hopefully we can pick up a few on the opening lap and then maybe change it up with strategy a bit and see if we can jump forward.
All right, third man in this championship scenario. Let's check in with Brad Jones Racing. Jake Burton got a big smile on his face tonight. Has there been any directive from Brad Jones himself as to how to play tonight? Is there any team orders tonight, Jake?
Not really, Chad, to be honest. I think it's important to remember that Mads and I are racing each other as well as Jared. So I think, you know, ultimately we want a BJR car to be the one that wins the championship, but we want to beat each other just as badly. So I'm excited for this one. Should be fun.
It's obviously a pretty tense moment going into this one, Jake, but is that your strategist just leaning over the monitor up on the side there?
Yeah, so this is Bjorn, my partner Emily's biggest fan, and he's been up here the last few rounds, so I'm glad that he got a shout out on the broadcast.
That's perfect, mate. Hey, we wish you all the best tonight. You've got some work to do out of 6 on the grid. Go get them, buddy.
Thanks, guys. Have a good call.
Very unlucky. Would have been leading that championship had Cooper Murray's internet not bugged out on the way to his pit stop at that last race at Bathurst, but they all look fairly comfortable with that one. On the way out to the break, got to tell you all about this massive competition. You could be heading to the Gold Coast 500. It's all thanks to BP, the Boost Mobile Gold Coast 500. It's coming up in October. The prize is worth up to $4,000. So scan the code, 3 nights accommodation, VIP tickets, return economy airfares for 2, hot laps in the safety car, provided Zach Best doesn't crash into it, and maybe a chance to meet Bert if you're lucky. All right, stick with us. The big one, the Championship Showdown, 10 grand to win, coming up right here on the E-Series.
The Cash Converters Supercars E-Series is proudly brought to you by Sure. Sound extraordinary on and off the track.
7 Supercars coverage is brought to you by BP Ultimate. Imagine being trackside on the Gold Coast watching the Supercars roar. Just snap the QR code to enter and you could win the ultimate Supercars experience. You and a friend could be flown to the Gold Coast 500 to enjoy all the action, including accommodation and VIP treatment. BP Rewards members also get 10 bonus entries. So sign up for your best chance to win the ultimate Supercars experience.
Heimgartner on screen here in the R&J Batteries Brad Jones Racing entry.
Hold on, where's the pit crew? What's he stumbled upon here? Ah, looks like the boys are having a bit of fun with their new toy. Get a gaming super bargain at Cash Converters. Click and collect or shop online with a 90-day warranty on most items. Cash Converters, life made possible.
7 Supercars coverage is brought to you by BP Ultimate. Imagine being trackside on the Gold Coast watching the Supercars roar. Just snap the QR code to enter and you could win the ultimate Supercars experience. You and a friend could be flown to the Gold Coast 500 to enjoy all the action, including accommodation and VIP treatment. BP Rewards members also get 10 bonus entries. So sign up for your best chance to win the ultimate Supercars experience.
The Cash Converters Supercars E-Series is proudly brought to you by Pioneer DJ. Join the revolution.
Fitting that we should be showing that race from Michigan, because that was the night that ignited the championship for Madison Down. He came from nowhere in that race. He came from nowhere in this championship. And Garth, all of a sudden, he is in with a chance. I think he's starting to feel a little bit nervous.
Yes, we've taken a few shots of Madison. And yes, you can just see, that's the first time I've seen a bit of red in his face this season. So
that's what matters.
Starting to become a little bit real what could happen tonight.
Yep, none of our championship combatants really fighting on that front row, although Jordan Caruso is a real outside chance at 113 points back. There is your championship leader, Cup Cadet Racing. For BJR, it's Madison Down. Andrew Gilliam, he's 144 points back, so technically still in with a chance. Cooper Webster having a really good run so far this year. There is 13 points, 15 off the lead, Jake Burton. Jared Philsell off the 4th row, second in points, needs to finish ahead of Madison Down to win this championship alongside Corey Shepherd. Brady Myers, Pizza Hut colours for him. Josh Anderson, you're now Aussie Racing Cars champion. Love that. Good on him. That's so cool. Griffin Gardner out of 11th tonight in car 93 in the Penrite colours. Job Stewart is running in the 86s on the weekend in the front pack as per usual. Jackson Suslin Harlow out of 13. Luke Rosella in the Shannon's colours tonight, coming out of 14th place. Jake Maloney in the BP Ultimate colours. Hopefully it's a better race for the BP Ultimate car this time round. Brenton Hobson in the 88. Wayne Burke driving Tom Randall's car tonight. Rick Kuznetsov in the Shure Commodore coming out of 18th. Emily Jones out the back. Lent her bear to Jake Burton for good luck. That's the important thing. as we get set now for the championship showdown. It's never been this close in the E-Series. Winner to take home $10,000. Oran Park, the perfect place to crown a champion. The final night, round 6. Let's go with the E-Series. Dane Warren makes a nice start. Watch for the 2 yellow cars from Brad Jones Racing. Big start, Phil Sell on the outside. Can he make up some spots early? That's a brave way to do it. Go the full send on the high side. Nervous moment, this one for Madison Down. He's got the overlap for second. He falls back in behind. Caruso doesn't quite know where to go. He's driving nervously down there towards turn 3. Finally, he settles down. It's advantage Madison Down for now.
He was watching Madison Down off the launch. He got a great start. He got up around the outside of Caruso, but there's no future. Oh no, that's one of our championship contenders, Jake Burton. So started deep in the field, did Burton, and that was always the risk, that you get caught up trying to make your way through the field. So Warren leads from Caruso. Madison Down, our championship leader, in 3rd. Cooper Webster, he's up a spot to 4th.
And where's Phil Sell? He's jumping up and down the order. Jonathan, this is crazy stuff.
This is the craziest start we've seen all season, and Phil Sell is still battling alongside, I think that's the 96 of Susan Harlow, so one of the Brad Jones Racing cars. There's been so much contact. Phil Sell and Burton on the opening lap, they did not want to give an inch to each other, and look at the end result. The entire field is scuttled out of position. I wouldn't even be surprised if the BP Ultimate safety car comes out.
Oh, look at the damage on some of these cars.
Susan Harlow, big damage, and same for Phil Sell on both sides. Just sent him.
In front.
Just sent him.
He's fighting the 3rd BJR car. He's hit 2 of them in this race. Phil Sell's using the bumpers. It's win it or bet it for him right now.
Yeah, no, but big damage to Phil Sell's car. So comes all the way back to qualifying, doesn't it? Madison Down qualified towards the front. He got through the first lap cleanly. Both Burton and Phil Sell, who are out of 6th and 7th, deep in the field. Big damage. Drop down the field. They've got a power of work to do there.
What
Josh
is going
Anderson
on tonight?
just sent it on Burke.
They have been so clean all year long. As here comes Jake Burton, who's missing his bonnet right now. And this has turned into an iRacing rookie night. Certainly. Street stock stuff.
It's still MMA style, isn't it? They're just throwing down.
Where has this come from?
Well, with a championship on the line and 1 race to go, it's go time. And Burton and Phil Sell, we heard they were not giving each other an inch in that first lap. They were racing for track position. We know how hard it is to overtake here at Oran Park once the race settles down into a rhythm. They wanted that track position early.
Instant cash moment. Let's decipher everything that we've seen here. Oh, big one. That was Corey Shepherd getting a shove. And multiple cars caught up. Anderson goes around. Damage for that car. Look at them scurrying everywhere.
Oh, and there was Phil Sell. That's how he got through a lot of the pack so quickly again. He kept the momentum up while everyone was getting out of the way of the Cool Drive Mustang. Phil Sell stayed hard on the gas. Got up the inside, got a few there.
There was 15 seconds of that opening lap, but the timing screen just went crazy. I was looking for Jared's name. It was up, it was down, it was in the middle.
I thought we were having our own internet issues with the timing screen.
He's washed up in 8th spot at the end of all this. Important to note, the money pays down to 5th in the championship.
Yeah.
I get that's why the mid-pack right now is slightly lit up.
It's lit up like a Christmas tree, isn't it?
Big stuff.
Dane Warren, he's our leader. Jordan Caruso's going with him, though, only 6/10 of a second at the head of the field. Madison Down. It's settled down a little bit for him now. He's in a safe 3rd from Cooper Webster. We're watching here Josh Anderson in the Cool Drive Mustang, who had himself quite the eventful opening lap. He was backwards at the S's at one point. Let's see if we can pick up more. So this is Phil Sell. Oh, gets into the back of Gilliam. Oh, big contact there. Phil Sell got the elbows out, hasn't he? And yeah, you're right, Chad. Burton, just an innocent victim. He got sent into the barrier at the bridge, and Phil Sell went to the back of the field. So a very aggressive opening lap, and this is where Phil Sell made a lot of it back straight away when all that was going on with Josh Anderson backwards.
He'd pick his way through that.
I think he just did the old drive through the smoke trick, Chad.
You can do it, Jared. Wow,
yes, Jared Phil Sell certainly up for it tonight. That opening lap, seriously aggressive.
Oh, well, that was pretty cool. So Dane Warren sitting down in 8th in the championship, leading this race, might be able to drive himself up into the money tonight inside the top 5. $1,500 at worst if you finish 5th. So there's money to be earned here tonight. Here he is. That car looks resplendent right now compared to half the pack.
No one's got near that car the opening 5 laps of this one. Jordan Caruso's done a nice job as well, though, being able to go with Dane Warren. Certainly settled down at the front of the field. It's like a race. 2 personalities. The first 3, they've got a mark on them. Pretty much from 5th on backwards. It's panel beater's delight. Everything's got damage. Dane Warren checking the screens, checking the timing, checking who's behind him, where they are. Jordan Caruso, 0.8 of a second. That monster Mustang's not letting Dane Warren go anywhere.
It might even be enough for Jordan Caruso to jump up to 3rd, because Jake Burton's had that bad a night so far.
Chad, we have 16 laps to go. And here's Jake Burton. He was just on the outside. Absolutely nothing he could do. I remember Michael Patrizzi did that once. He was actually up on the barrier.
Must be a West Aussie thing.
At Oran Park. So he got caught out Jake Burton style early on. But Burton trying the recovery drive, down in 19th right now, so with it all to do ahead of him.
He's been in the pits already. That car is looking fresh, but he's got some work to do tonight, Jonathan.
And his championship rival, Jared Filsell, has received 2 5-second penalties. That's for 2 separate incidents on those opening few laps. Now, if there is a late safety car, now that could come into play. You know, you never know. But to be 10 seconds down as well, that's not going to help your championship charge. I think Jared Filsell now is not in a good position at the moment. He might even drop down to 3rd if Jake Burton can claim some good points in the top 10.
How are those penalties taken, Jonathan? Are they taken in the pit stop, or are they added at the end of the race?
I will clarify that with the stewards, but I think they were given, I think they're mid-race penalties as far as I know. So I think they'll have to take in his pit stop as far as I'm aware. If not, there will be post-race. So I'll get that confirmation for you soon, Garth.
All right, thank you, Jonathan. It's going to make it easy on his old spreadsheet tonight to know who the championship winner is.
That spreadsheet of Jonathan's at the moment.
His championship-wise, Madison Down is the man in the box seat. But 15 laps to go around this place. It's a long way.
Plenty happened in the first 7.
We're hearing from race control, virtual race control. They're going to be handed out post-race. So 10 is the magic number for Filsell. Wherever he is, we need to look 10 seconds back behind him to know where he's going to wash up. It all really started in SwiftX qualifying. They just couldn't get towards the front of the field. It's been a really jumbled order every race since that first one. They qualified in the order that we all thought they'd qualify round 1, and they never did that again. It was just every night it was a different grid.
That's what's mixed it up so much in the Pro Series Championship this year. Just that we've had so many mixed grids. And some contenders that have really come on in the second half of the championship, Jordan Caruso being one that's really run into some great form, along with Cooper Webster. We always had Dane Warren, Jared Filsell, Jake Burton, Madison Down as our championship contenders, but when you throw a few wild cards in there like Caruso, Webster, Andrew Gilliam's been fast. It's really mixed the grid up. It's made for great racing.
Well, let's ride over the shoulder of the man who's probably pretty steamed up right now, Jared Filsell. Have a listen in. You can probably hear the huffing and puffing right now in our shore sides of the game. There we go, a lap around Oran Park. One thing I've noticed just watching on the action here, very similar gloves that he's wearing in the real steering wheel to the virtual steering wheel.
Fully customisable are the cockpits inside these cars on iRacing. You can do your own gloves, your own suit, your own helmet design.
It's looking very much like an Erebus suit too.
I want to see someone wearing a helmet in a sim. See these guys wearing gloves, boots. I want to see a helmet in a sim next time we have an E-Series Championship.
I'd love to know if the boots match the iRacing black and red
if you're going
boots.
to go to the effort to make your gloves match, Chad, then clearly your boots got to match as well.
All right, pit stops are happening, and the race leader is in. Here he is. Now let's just watch what Jonathan was saying here. The pit exit is tight. Needs to only go up and down once.
Parked it sort of a little bit nose out here to help with that tight exit that Jonathan mentioned earlier from Brody Kosecki we saw earlier. He makes his way out. Does Dane Warren?
He's looking pretty good at the moment. So Jordan Caruso, a little chance there at the undercut for Jordan, but that ship has sailed with Dane taking the earlier pit stop. So defensive strategy, this one from Dane. Some conjecture over, do you wear gloves when you hop on the sim? I feel like most of the field tonight would be wearing gloves. Most of the All-Stars wear glasses, the blue light glasses. Headphones for some, speakers for other, triple screens for some, single curve screen for others. I run the curve screen myself at home. Ever tried virtual reality?
I have tried the virtual reality goggles. James Golding had on his sim when we were teammates at Gary Rogers Motorsport. He had the sim set up at the workshop, and I used those goggles, and I got out. I was seasick for about 3 hours afterwards, Chad, with the VR goggles, so they weren't for me. Jake Burton up the inside, the Cash Converters Commodore.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh dear, that's going to cause some awkwardness around the house. That was a good one. Justin Ruggier sending him off at the last corner. They're good mates, those two. And it's Justin Ruggier. It's in the last race. Brendan Hobson sending him off at the last corner there. So that's going to be a tricky one for those two to sort out.
Rains of pause for Jake Burton.
Oh dear. Well, that's just about put the full stop on Jake's night tonight. He was having a good run in this championship. Seriously needs to try and consolidate third in the points. There's still $5,000 to win there for third.
Right, yeah. It's
all of a sudden, it's what can he save tonight? Griffin Gardner in the Penrite colours here at the back of this field tonight. It's been his rookie season, sitting mid-pack, 11th on points. 6th at Sandown, his best result of the year. Kuznetsov, 15th in points. Picked up a podium at Michigan. Pretty handy on the old ovals is Rick. He's got a real NASCAR name, Rick Kuznetsov.
It is a good NASCAR name, isn't it? Griffin Gardner's a good sim name. I like that one.
I was waiting for him to crash at Griffin Bend at Bathurst. It never happened.
That would have been your commentator's dream, wouldn't it, Chad?
Kept it up the old sleeve, but no luck for that one, sadly.
I'm sure Griffin was happy that he didn't crash at Griffin's Bend.
Which is also called Penrite Pass. It's just dawned on me.
Chad.
Oh my gosh.
Look at you go.
Here he is in turn 2 right now. Amazing. He's got to do a little bit of work on the... oh, here we go. He's just done the old rack focus for us as he comes into shot tonight, Rick Kuznetsov. I feel like that's the first time we've seen him pop up this year.
It's the first time we've taken the onboard shot of Rick.
It's a picture of concentration right now. So, pit stops completed. Dane Warren just about towards the front. Jake Maloney, last driver to pit. Late race safety car would help him out tonight. Maloney, into the fence. That was
drive Mustang into
Josh Anderson out of nowhere.
Where did that come from? Did he drop a wheel off the dog leg?
Just got that car fixed. Had his instant cash repair.
He started the tank slapper on the way up the dog leg, and he's in deep trouble here.
Did a good job to keep it out of that fence, nearly.
Nearly had the big wide entry onto the front straight, but the tyre barrier just got him. Big damage to Josh Anderson. Griffin Gardner gets up the inside of Brenton Hobson.
Probably only just got home from partying as Josh after winning his Aussie Racing Cars Championship. Under heavy fire on the weekend at Sandown. Pretty gnarly track to race an Aussie racing car as well.
Big drafting battles up and down the front straight in the Aussie race cars. The Aussie race cars are great racing. It's like they're like Moto 3 bikes on the racetrack. They're so small, so the racetrack ends up so much wider for the Aussie racing cars. Put on a great show.
So, Jake Maloney, race leader, yet to pit. Dane Warren, 7 seconds back, so clearly going to inherit the race lead again. Once the field is cleansed, this is tight. Gilliam and Shepherd. Gilliam, big move to the inside. Shepherd gives him just enough space. Good racing.
Give Shepherd the inside run to turn 3. Is he able to stay up the inside, or does Gilliam break around the outside? Gilliam, this is going to be a long journey. The outside at 3 and then the outside of 4. Even if you stay the outside of 4, you're on the outside for the run up the bridge. So he switches it back to the inside.
Ooh,
car bottoms out there with a camber change for the run up the hill over the bridge. So good racing between these two.
They're scrapping over 8th position. So head up through Suttons towards the dogleg at the top of the hill. And Jonathan, what are your observations here with just the one car to pit?
Well, this is important because Dane Warren's result, I think he should inherit the race lead soon as Andrew Gilliam has a peak at the final corner. So Dane Warren will have 5th position in the championship, and with prize money on the line, that's $1,500 for the Walker and Shaw Andretti United driver. That will drop Andrew Gilliam out of the top 5, but if Gilliam can pass 3 cars here, he will claim 5th position back. Corey Shepherd's 1. Let's see if he can get another 2 after that.
Okay. Just got to get around Shepherd first.
Well, certainly not lack of trying from Gilliam. He's having a crack, so he gets up the inside. The outside on the previous lap at turn 3.
So that's 1. So 3's the magic number, hey?
Yep. So next in the line is Job Stewart. You can see him just up. Stewart crests the top of the hill at the bridge in the Swiftex Commodore. So not too far up the road is Andrew Gilliam's next target.
Leader pits. So Jake Maloney in, the BP Ultimate 98. And hands the lead back to this guy, Dane Warren, cruising on through. And he's got a comfortable 2-second buffer over Jordan Caruso. Jordan potentially going to move up from 4th in the championship tonight. That could be the difference between 2.5K or 5K tonight. So lots to play for there.
A reasonable step up in cash. We said there wasn't a mark on Dane Warren's car. That's on this side. Have a look on the other side. He's certainly been rubbing the wall coming up out of the final corner for the run onto the front straight. Dane Warren. So whilst he's out in the lead and managing this one, certainly not cruising, is our race leader Dane Warren.
Here's a weird stat for you.
I love a weird stat, Chad.
If Jordan Caruso goes on to win the National Sports Sedan Championship, we will have more national champions in the pro class than we will the All-Stars.
In circuit racing.
In circuit racing.
That is a weird stat. I
like that stat. Out.
I like that stat.
There you go. Josh Anderson and Jordan Caruso potentially national champions this year.
Jordan Caruso going very well in the Australian Sports Sedans Championship. As we mentioned earlier, Josh Anderson has already claimed the Aussie Race Car Championship for the year. So really what you're saying, Chad, is our All-Stars need to lift their game.
Incredibly, the pros are the pros in the real world, it would seem as well. Here is Jordan Caruso doing a very nice job leading that National Sports Sedan Championship. And a very good drive to have as well in the Audi. And he's really enjoyed his time just being connected to Tickford. Good opportunity to just live and breathe Supercars life for a bit, spend some time in the workshop, do the photo shoots.
Yeah, as a young driver, just being exposed to all that stuff at the highest level in Australian motorsport. Joining up with a team like Tickford for the E-Series just gives you that access. I mean, Jordan can wander into their garage at any of the race meetings and sit in and take it all in, maybe sit on some engineering briefings and stuff like that. Take that, even some of that info back to his own circuit racing in the sports sedan. So great opportunity. Some doors certainly open for a lot of young competitors in this Pro Series amongst the supercar teams up and down pit lane. Saw a heap of our Pro Series drivers at Sandown. They were all getting about together early, I think it was on Saturday morning.
Yep, enjoying the action, particularly the two BGR teammates. Unfortunately, it's not worked out for one of them tonight, but that was always going to be the case. Thankfully, it looks to be at least good news for one of them tonight, as Jared Filsell, his recovery drive, still got that 10-second penalty looming over his head. Up against Corey Shepherd, who had a 15-second pit stop. Rounds him up. Jake Burton, 14-second stop as well, just in case anything else couldn't go his way tonight.
No, I think there's a bit of damage involved with that pit stop time.
So.
Phil Sell got the job done there on Corey Shepherd, but as you mentioned, Chad still has 10 seconds to be added to his race time. So as it stands right now, that'll drop him to 13th in this one. That has championship implications as far as where he'll finish inside the top 5.
So I'll get Jonathan's numbers on this, but it's going to be very close between Jordan Caruso and Jake Burton for third in this championship at the moment. With what was 113 points off the pace from the leader. So Jake Burton's 15 points. So what's that, 98-point difference? And Jonathan, I score it as about a 90-point difference for them in this race. So is it still looking good for Burton to claim third?
Yeah, that's correct, Chad. So Madison Down, P1, that'll be a champion right there. Well done to Madison Down, but behind him it'll be Jared Philsell to claim second, $7,500 to him, $5,000 to Jake Burton, and then Caruso and Warren will round out the top 5 in the championships. Despite Jordan Caruso having such a strong result, he still can't claim that elusive race win, but well done to Madison Down. This is a man who is 27 years of age and has been sim racing since he was 2 years old. So 2 decades and a half. He's been out there since, I don't believe it, Chad. That's what he told me. I thought those little legs couldn't reach the pedals, but I'll take his word for it. And so he's going to win the championship. This is a mighty effort from him, a guy who's so well respected and so well, highly sort of respected throughout the sim racing scene in Australia. This will be great.
Don't like it how you guys talk in absolutes with 3 laps to go.
We saw what happened
as a
about
racing
this.
driver. Yeah. I've been here before, certainly with championships involved, and I'm sure Madison Down will be ecstatic that he can't hear any of us talking about a championship being sealed just yet. 3 laps to go left in this one. We saw all sorts of dramas in the All-Stars race.
Yeah. So you reckon he'd be taking it easy on those downshifts?
Just need to be getting this car over the line, and absolutely would be well aware of some of the stuff that was going on with over revs and things like that in this portion of the circuit in the braking zone in the final corner. Don't need any over revs. You can blow an engine in iRacing. Not
Anyone
indestructible.
In his house would be under strict instructions. Don't touch anything electrical.
Don't turn the kettle on.
Yeah, for the next 5 laps, don't turn off and on a light switch. Don't put the aircon on.
Don't download anything. Don't use any bandwidth on the internet.
Don't touch a thing. Just sit down for the next 2 laps. And just please let me get to the finish of this race.
So that's Down actually doing the best job here of, instead of just rolling this one home, is keeping the focus up and getting after the tail of Jordan Caruso. Probably won't send it, but certainly the best way to focus is just to drive as close as you can to the back of the car in front. Make sure you hit your marks, stay in a rhythm. Don't think too far ahead. Still a lap and a half to go in this one. Our race leader, Dane Warren, he's done a great job in this. Led from the green light. Pretty much led all the way through the pit stop cycle. It was only Jake Maloney in the BP car that hung out late and took the lead for a few laps. Otherwise, it's been the Dane Warren show.
There's the white flag from Barney, our loyal flagman in iRacing. Final lap. The Cup Cadet, Brad Jones Racing 14, Madison Down. Won the very first E-Series race back in 2019 on iRacing at Phillip Island. He won the Phillip Island round again this year. 8th at Winton, 4th at Sandown, 5th in the Michigan Sprint race. It was that win at the Michigan feature race that just lit his championship up. From there, he backed that up with another win at Phillip Island, 2nd at Bathurst, potentially 3rd here today. What a way to close out a championship. First, 2nd, 3rd.
That's how you win championships, Chad. Consistency and just banking the points. And we saw tonight with the chaos early that anything's possible in this championship. It was so close before we lit the green light at the start of this one, but ultimately it'll be Madison Down that'll bring it home for the championship. But Dane Warren styles it off the final corner. Nice job.
Great drive to the checkered flag. Madison Down gets the win behind him in the championship. Dane Warren takes the race win. Madison, money down, takes the championship. How cool is that? Now he can breathe a sigh of relief. Now everyone in the house
doors
says,
open. They're
okay,
allowed
can I
in.
put the kettle on now?
They're allowed in. How good.
Everyone comes in to celebrate with him. Yes, he's done it. That is fantastic. $10,000, Madison. he is the champion. Brad Jones Racing win their first championship in the E-Series. The streak at Walkinshaw Andretti United is over, and the streak ends with a Walkinshaw Andretti United race win. Time to celebrate in the Cub Cadet Commodore. And he came out of nowhere, 8th in night 1, 4th at the next race at Sandown, and at that point, no one was picking this guy for a championship. That is an elite comeback from there, not seen before in this E-Series. And no one was picking that guy for the championship at that point. Let's speak to our champion as Phil Sell rolls up to congratulate him. Sure live chat right now. Madison, you've come from 5th in the points after round 2 to win the title. Can you believe it? You've just won 10 grand, mate. Well done.
Oh, unbelievable. Thanks so much. I'm speechless to come from that far back and get the title. Yeah, just couldn't have dreamt of it. So huge thanks to everyone at Brad Jones Racing. A lot of work went in behind the scenes to get this one done. So massive thank you to the team and Brad himself. They've had a pretty average last couple of weeks. So to be putting in the effort they have to give us this car to get the championship is just unbelievable.
Who were the people who came running into the room, mate? We want to get them back in there to celebrate with you.
Yeah, there's a bit of a barbecue at our place tonight, so nice to be able to cap it off there with a win. So yeah, unbelievable and great. You can see how much it means to everybody, not just the team at Brad Jones, but also the family, friends, everyone puts in a lot of work for this 6 weeks. So awesome to get it done.
Madison, you cap off a great week. It was your birthday earlier in the week as well, but just tell us about how you felt prior to the race. We took a couple of shots. I don't know if you knew, but we took a couple of shots of you from this camera, and you looked pretty nervous, looked pretty tense. You're looking a lot more relaxed right now.
Oh, 100%. I had the knee shakes going for about half an hour before that one. Just couldn't sit still, basically. So just wanted to get started. And obviously, we did a great job in qualifying to put the car where we did, but that almost added more pressure, knowing that we all we had to really do was stay there. So yeah, awesome to get the job done and get the Cub Cadet car up in P1.
Now, it's become something of an E-Series tradition, and I love traditions, Madison, that we ask the championship winner if he thinks he's going to get a drive in the real world, where we're absolutely hounding Dane Warren for the last couple of years. I know Brad Jones is actually pretty generous with this when it comes to his E-Series drivers. Here's your chance to ask Brad, who's probably watching right now and celebrating with you, for a few laps around Winton.
Oh, 100%. We've done that the last 2 years, and I've got to give a massive shout out to Brad to placing the trust in us E-Series drivers to jump behind the wheel of these things in real life. It's been an unbelievable experience, and I'm sure we'll get that opportunity again. And it's just nice to repay him and the team with a championship win. I know it'll mean a lot to everyone at the team.
That's awesome, mate. Congratulations. Everyone's waiting outside. Tell them to come in and celebrate, mate. Don't be shy. Tell them to come in. Here we go. Everyone's
that's what you need.
He's come in for a very
bit of hydration.
Hard-earned one. Mate, congratulations. Enjoy the $10,000. It's all yours.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Get the feeling that beer is going to taste pretty
first
good.
of many tonight, I think, Chad.
Party's on at his place. He lives nowhere near us, unfortunately, Garth. We'd be knocking around the door right now. How cool's that? Third place, good enough to win in the championship. Dane Warren gets a bookend on the championship so far this year. First, he won round 1 in the last round. I can't believe he didn't win the championship. It's just, he was the form guy. Jake Burton, 19th. Bit of a heartbreaker for him. Bosch race highlights. Everything happened on that opening lap. It was all about lap 1, Gar.
It was all about lap 1. Well, it was all about qualifying earlier tonight. Chad Madison down, put him in the right spot. And then the rest of lap 1, our other 2 championship contenders, Jared Filsell and Jake Burton, they got busy, and ultimately it was Burton that was an innocent party here of this first contact on the outside of the run-up over the bridge, and big damage for him there. And then Jared Filsell seriously got the elbows out. It's another shot of where Burton exited off the bridge. Filsell found himself out wide himself, and he was to get caught up in a few other dramas. Ultimately ended up with 2 separate 5-second time penalties that were added to his race time late. You could just see this first lap. It was like it had 2 personalities, this race. The first 3 cars basically didn't have a mark on them, and then it was all like this at the back half of the field. And Jake Burton, just to end his night, got caught up with a car leaving pit lane. Josh Anderson tried a new line over the dogleg into the final corner. That one didn't work out.
We gave them the All-Stars time slot tonight, and they gave us an All-Stars race.
They went Hollywood for us, that's for sure. So thanks to them. But Dane Warren, He was one of our real championship contenders early, but his year didn't play out. But he finished off in style, didn't he, Chad?
Yeah, nice race win to cap it off. I know Ryan Walkinshaw loves the E-Series, takes it very seriously. They've got themselves a good driver there in Dane Warren, but their championship run comes to an end, and now it's Brad Jones Racing and the Cub Cadet Commodore Madison Down. And as Jonathan mentioned, 27 years of age now, he becomes the oldest champion that we've had in the E-Series. He's already on to his second. He's not wasting any time. And he'll be very happy to know. Just got a text through from Brad Jones.
How many laps is Madison
getting? He will get a drive.
Good job, Bradley.
Is the text
well
from
done,
Brad.
Bradley.
Brad's watching. Congratulations to him, champion of the E-Series. That's really cool. Remember, Repco Top Performer, there's a $1,500 Visa gift card up for grabs. We want to hear from you guys. Surely it's going to be the champion, Madison Down, but it's not up to us, Garth. It's up to the fans.
Nope. Let's hear from the fans.
All right, mate. Thanks for your 6 weeks of help here.
Thanks, Chad.
I think we've had some fun.
Been great fun.
Thanks for watching along at home, wherever you've been watching from. It's been a lot of fun. The Cash Converters Supercars E-Series, iRacing, and putting that connection of the virtual world to the real world. Thanks for all the hard work up in Sydney. This is your Melbourne crew signing off from another big year in the E-Series. Good night.